One often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it.
We have to do something. We can't just let him march on the valley and take his revenge. He'll...
Your mind is like this water, my friend. When it is agitated, it becomes difficult to see. But if you allow it to settle, the answer becomes clear.
We've gone from being human beings to human doings. And
nice.
We've got the focus on too much of a focus on doing, and not enough on just being and presence. And there's that, being with ourselves and being with others and slowing down and really feeling those sensations. That's where you can start to tap into different levels of wisdom.
And we're in the topic of transformation.
Yeah.
And also there, right, the old school way of doing transformation, 3-year plan, right, lengthy things, and then 3 years later, we just start doing it again with a different name.
Yes.
I'm being a bit cynical.
Yeah.
But. And there I learned about, I think it was a recent Harvard Business Review article that talked about the topic of adaptive transformation. And when I read that, it sort of clicked where I felt, okay, so that's what apparently I'm doing, right? So instead of 3-year black box, again, right, through the dark, and it stays dark. Hey, we need to learn, we need to quickly adapt to signals. Of course, transformation is also all about behavioral change. One of the key elements there is indeed playful.
Yes.
And for me, I'm still surprised so often, and maybe I mentioned this example, but I was talking to a leader. So all the leaders want their employees to experiment more, fail fast, right? It's all super sexy. But then when I asked, okay, are you leading by example? Did you share a moment when you failed?
Yeah.
The literal answer I got was, I don't fail. Okay.
The problem we have in our leadership development and a lot of what's taught and what is driven in organizations is that we're teaching absencing, not presencing. So we have all the frameworks in the world, but they're very cognitive, and we learn how to create psychological safety. But you then go back to the office and carry on behaving much as you did. Have you really created, you're performing the activities that should create psychological safety, but unless you are being, embodying and living it, you're not actually going to be creating it. I think there's a quote from Nietzsche that says, give a man a why and he can cope with any how. And there's something very, very true in that, what's your why? What's the overall purpose? Why are you doing this? And if you can't come up with something that goes beyond your own personal advancement, it's probably not the right thing. But there's got to be some bigger purpose than me advancing myself. The next level along is self-authored, and the idea of self-authored as in I write my own story.
Yeah, I like the term.
So then at that point you go, well, I know most people believe what they believe.
X.
I have a different view. And so there's a slightly rebellious energy, there's an independence about it, and there's a sense of, I have a different view, and I'm going to strike out on my own.
Which resonates a lot with me, Richard.
There you go. So it's sort of important it's an important part of kind of entrepreneurial energy, or any time you want to be doing something new and driving change and so on, having some of that self-authoring side is important. But therefore, that's one of the first challenges. So if for leaders who've been brought up within very strong cultures, and many organizations have very strong cultures, they may be quite socialized. And so the idea of leading change and taking the organization in a very different route, it may be not just a simple thing, because actually it challenges the very root of how they see the world, because to move to being self-authored is a really big deal.
Yeah.
If you're used to being socialized and all of your value comes from belonging and being part of the organization, you go beyond. So the downside of self-authoring is it can be a little bit, it's my way or the highway. I have an idea, I don't care about anybody else, this is what I'm doing. It can be isolating as well as independence, and so the next level, the self-transforming, is more an appreciation that there are lots of different ways of doing things. Some people do it this way, some do it that way. I tend to think this is the best way, but I'm open to other ways. And so there's a more acceptance of difference, more fluidity can be quite helpful, because it may be that actually if you're a bit stuck in socialized, you're going to need to, and then that's going to take, so in a way the bravery is going to be
exactly moving
out of being socialized and moving away from the comfort of fitting in. And that's probably going to be your task, because once you've done that, once you've made that leap, actually then it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it's that level.
I think also that connects, the first level connects also very much to the vulnerability and working together with others to figure out this path that we don't know, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In life and with many of the leaders I see, it's those who've had to deal with adversity and something bad happening, some difficult challenge where they've failed or things have really not gone well. And in a way, it's those who've dealt with more of those challenges and been able to process them, work through them, who are the ones that come out the other side more grounded, more confident, more resilient, because their confidence then is grounded in the sense that no matter what happens,
I will survive.
I will survive and I can get through this.
Yeah.